So welcome back to the HH factory. We are going to dive into, I think, one of the biggest unknowns about our boat, the hybrid electric diesel engines. It's called EcoDrive. It is a system like I've never seen before, I've never used before, I've never experienced it, but it's going on our boat. And we've got James, the lead designer on this project, the naval architect, here to kind of walk us through it. And we'll just dive right in. Tell me about this engine and how it came about with the HH44 project.
There was just a general trend of more alternator power, so trying to get more out of the diesel engines, bigger batteries, bigger inverters, bigger solar. To step from that to a fully hybrid boat that has electric propulsion is not a big step, and that's what we did with the 44.
Those are all things that we've always wanted on our boat. We installed high output alternators. We always had tons of solar and lithium bank, but never anything like this. And the amount of power that this generates, and the fact that it's not me piecing it together myself, where you have all these user errors and miscellaneous installs that can cause problems. It's really nice to have it straight from the factory. And that's one thing that really drew us to the HH44, was the fact that it was built from the ground up with hybrid drive, with solar, and with lithium battery in mind. And hydro, yes. We're going to talk about all of that. And to be honest, this is all secondary. Another reason we went with HH, performance boat, holes that really slice through the water. And the idea is we will sail 90% of the time. At least that's what I'm telling myself. 90%, that's my goal. Rarely kick on the motors, mostly the electric, rarely the engines. This to me looks just like a regular engine from about here-ish.
Yeah, exactly. A 3-cylinder Beta Marine engine, mechanically aspirated. It's not a common rail diesel engine, which is easier to service. You're not needing a technician to come out with a computer and plug it into your engine to tell you what's wrong with it. So yeah, you've got your 12-volt starter batteries as normal, and you'll notice the engine does still have a 12-volt alternator for charging the start batteries. That actually adds a bit of redundancy to the boat, because all of the DC electronics on the boat, autopilots, fridges, lights, they're all 12 volts. So should you lose your lithium battery bank for whatever reason, or the hybrid, doesn't work for whatever reason, you can still run the boat off the diesel engines from the alternators.
So then from here, we don't really have much to talk about, right?
Right. It's a normal diesel engine. Instead of a sail drive like you'd find on a lot of yachts nowadays, this has got a bit more of a traditional gearbox. So the gearbox is nothing fancy, crazy for the hybrid system. It's just a hydraulic gearbox, stock standard, really, no changes. And that's important because to be able to regenerate while you're sailing, you need to let the propellers free spin in the water, and the diesel engine's off at that time. And some gearboxes need the diesel engine to be on to pump oil, to keep things lubricated, whereas due to the type of gearbox this is, yeah, you can free spin the shaft, and it's designed to do that. So, yeah.
The similarity between this and our old boat, it is a shaft drive. For us, that's a benefit because it is more simple. You have to haul out less, you have less things to worry about braking. It's just very simple. Yeah. We lose a little bit of space maybe.
Well, we like the shaft drive. In terms of the configuration of the yacht, the engine's further forward, so that actually helps with the balance of the boat and centralizing the weight and better sailing performance.
So that's our diesel part, and we can run this just like any normal diesel engine, straight to the shaft. We don't have to worry about any of this. This works completely independently, but this is the part that I'm most excited about. I think that we're most excited about, all of us.
So outside of the engine room is the motor controller, and then that is controlling this, which is a 10 kilowatt electric motor, which connects to the shaft with a belt.
If we take this cowling off, we can see the belt here. It looks pretty simple.
Yeah, it's not connected in any complicated way with the gearbox. So it's really an engine and an electric motor, but they both connect to the same shaft. If you're talking about a hybrid, you got to talk about like a serial hybrid system where you have one big generator that charges your batteries, which is powering 2 electric motors. And that is serial in nature, in that if there is one link in that chain that fails between the generator or the batteries or to the motor, you lose all propulsion. Whereas on this boat, you've basically got 4 modes of propulsion.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So a lot of redundancy. And if you are going to motor for a long time, it's actually more efficient to use a diesel engine and then charge while you're motoring than it is to run a generator, which is losing efficiency charging the batteries, which is losing efficiency discharging to operate the electric. You know, there's a few efficiency drops every time you convert or invert electricity, whereas yeah, for purely long range motoring, a diesel engine is still more fuel efficient.
And serial versus parallel is something that we could dive into really deep. Maybe we will in the future, because there's some big advantages. I think that right now, this is the best system to go with. What do you tell the people that say it's not proven?
Well, this system has been around for over 20 years on canal boats, where they would need quiet electric propulsion through the villages, but then they still need diesel engines for the range. They are not so weight constrained as a yacht, so they've had lead acid batteries, big flooded batteries in the bilges of the boats for a long time, and it's only recently lithium-ion batteries are small enough, light enough, affordable enough that you're seeing this technology sort of filter out into the yachting community.
What would you say about people that are afraid of 48 volts?
We like 48 volts because it's actually below threshold in the ISO standards, 50 volts. You know, above that they consider that high voltage. You need a high voltage technician to work on it. Below 50 volts, it's considered a safe system. If you get electrocuted, it won't kill you. It is a bigger zap than 24 or 12, but it's not lethal.
What are the benefits of 48 volt while we're on that?
Since we have a 48 volt hybrid, we try and make as many things on the boat 48 volt as we can that are big consumers, like electric winches, the windlass, things like that, and that just lowers the cable sizing. A less voltage drop means we can save weight, ultimately save weight.
What do you say to the people that think it wouldn't be worth it to have a hybrid engine?
I mean, it depends how you want to use your boat. If you just want a diesel engine, then just buying a diesel engine is obviously the best value. But if you want to start adding things like solar, bigger inverters, big alternators, a generator, you add up the cost of all these things, adding a hybrid into the mix, you'll get a heap more functionality, and actually the price won't go up, you know, once you get rid of the generator and start consolidating systems.
So the last one is what happens if we have a complete failure?
There's many different areas of the boat that can work independently of each other. Like the two hybrids, even though you can operate them from the same screen, they are separate systems. So if one goes down, the other keeps working. If the hybrid motor on this engine stopped working, the engine would still function as a diesel engine, so you don't lose propulsion. If you did lose your lithium batteries, you can run the diesel engines. Your 12 volt alternator will power the 12 volt systems on board. It's connected in that way. So you have a lot of levels of redundancy.
And then, like happened to us once, what happens if your starter packs up on the diesel engine? Then you can run your electric engine.
Exactly.
It's so great. So basically we have 4 ways to propel, 5 ways to propel.
With the sails.
With the sails, exactly. 2 electrics, 2 diesels, and sails. So I think redundancy, we're in a catamaran, we're like doubly redundant.
I can sort of run you through the different modes. So obviously you've got your diesel engine motoring. That belt will be turning the electric motor. So it's essentially acting like a giant alternator. That can generate up to 5 kilowatts of 48 volt power directly into your batteries.
Would you say that this is more reliable than a high output alternator?
In a sense, because you're connected to the shaft. So there's no load on the crankshaft on the front end of the engine, which is usually a limiting factor. Whenever you read an engine owner's manual, they'll give you a maximum alternator size that you can put on. And that's just due to how much force, how much you're bending that shaft in the engine. But because we're attached to a belt directly to the back end of the gearbox, you can actually take off a lot more power.
Another issue with our high output alternator was as soon as we installed it, we noticed a huge change in our revs and top speed. Do you get that same sort of issue with this configuration?
Yeah, I mean, it is taking power from the engine, and it is very simple to turn off with one button if you do want maximum speed.
That's something we could not do on our old boat, so that's exciting to hear. Okay, so then the next one would be...
Yeah, the one you're most excited about. You have your diesel engine off. You put the gearbox into neutral, so when the shaft spins, the engine doesn't spin. And then the electric motor can drive the shaft without turning the diesel engine, and now you've got electric propulsion. So your electric motor is turning the propeller.
So this tiny thing
10 kilowatts.
10 kilowatts.
Yeah.
Just like on a diesel engine, we would never run the engine at 3,000 RPMs. It's kind of the same on the electric. We're not going to run it flat out because we know that's hard on the system. We know that we can't go as far, and we know that we can't run it quite as long. So if we do it at like, say, 50%, and let's just not even think about the solar coming in.
Right.
If we do it at like half throttle, electric only, how far do you think we'll be able to go?
Yeah, so then you'll be doing about 4 knots, so for over 3 hours if you're at 50% throttle.
And then if you had high sun, you've got a lot of power coming into the solar. Do you think that would extend even further?
Of course. There isn't a point at which it stops working. It just gets slower and slower and slower. And so you could just be puttering around doing 1-2 knots. With the solar, you could go forever if you wanted.
The actual real world use case would be if you're in the doldrums or something, and some sailors are like, I'm not gonna kick on diesel, I don't wanna do that. But you might be able to kick on the electric and just move through those doldrums.
Give yourself a
a
little bit of apparent wind,
Yeah.
get the sails working. For sure it'll help. Or if you have to motor for a long time because there is no wind, maybe you want to take a nap in one of the hulls, so you could have the electric motor on that side and then on the other hull the diesel motor, which is also sending power to the batteries and to the electric motor, extending your range. So you could be at full throttle on both and get about 5 or 6 hours then, and you'll still be doing 7 knots.
And if you're doing that during the day with a solar,
Even longer, yeah. Another nice thing I like about it is, I mean, it's quite bad to turn on a diesel engine for a short time to do a quick job like get out of a marina or get off anchor. You want to, let a diesel engine warm up and then use it, but then you might be running it for half an hour when you only needed it for 5 minutes.
yeah.
Whereas now you don't need to turn on your diesel engine. For that 5 minutes worth of motoring, you just use electric.
I think about the perfect use case in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A lot of people buy boats there and sort of come in and out of there as a hub. Some of the marinas are so deep in, like 5 miles in, to be able to pull out of the marina, travel down the river for 5 miles, get out to sea, and then put your sails up, never have to run the engine, just running silently on the motor. Like that's pretty awesome. And coming off anchor in a beautiful anchorage, like the last thing you want to do is just turn on that diesel engine. I can't wait. We've talked about diesel only. We've talked a little bit about electric only. What's the other mode?
Hydro regeneration. So if you're motoring and then you put up the sails, the propellers won't stop spinning and they'll sort of be open in the water, free spinning. So all you do is put the gearbox in neutral, turn on the hybrid, and it goes, oh, the shaft's spinning, I can make some electricity, and it turns into hydro regeneration mode.
If we're on like a long passage and we want to just get maximum performance because we're in light air, then maybe we'll go into this mode, right?
Yeah.
And then if we're kind of getting low on power, then we go into regen mode.
Yep, exactly. If you're at anchor and the sun's not shining, you need to generate electricity using your diesel engines, you disengage this clutch. So then when you turn on the diesel engine, put it in gear, the shaft doesn't spin, but the electric motor does. And now you've turned your 2 diesel engines into 2 diesel generators. And each one can generate 5 kilowatts.
10 kilowatt total going into the battery bank. Okay, so that's a generator mode. And that would be the last mode that we really,
Yeah.
There's not a way to like run them both, the diesel engine and the electric, on the propeller to make it like more powerful or anything like that.
Some hybrid boats would do that and you'd call it a boost mode.
Yeah.
Where the electric motor is boosting the total power, but we don't really see the point because you're just going to go half a knot faster or whatever it is and just drain your batteries. And your propeller is always optimized for a given engine size. So then you're throwing things out there too. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for cars, hybrid cars, because they use 90% of their energy accelerating. So you want to boost the acceleration, whereas on a boat, you don't really care about acceleration, you're just at a constant speed.
Yeah. And the idea is we'll be sailing most of the time anyway. And actually the fact that you just said cars reminded me that the experience, from what we've read, the experience of this system will almost be like having a hybrid car. So it's going to drive exactly the same, it's going to feel exactly the same, other than the fact that it's going to be quieter.
Yep.
It's just going to be like the old trusty diesel that we had on our last boat. It's going to be a very seamless experience.
But it opens up a whole lot of new functionality for you and a whole lot less noise.
And then number 2 is sitting there in the test pond right now. Can you take us out there and show us the systems?
Yeah, we can go see one installed.
So now we're on hull number 2. This is about to leave, and they're gonna show us real quickly how the interface works on the actual boat.
Yeah, what we're doing now is putting all the engine data, the telemetry, onto the BNG system. So all we've got for controlling the diesel engines is preheat, start, stop, and then your warning lights. But all the RPM, the oil pressure, engine temperature, all of that good stuff is actually shown on the BNG chart plotter.
So we don't have like an old school analog?
No dials like that, no.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The functionality of the boat is still all the same. The only thing is just the data is shown on a digital display instead of an analog display, but it's still connected with wires.
And then we also have a Hybrid Marine panel here.
Correct.
And what is that for?
So that is for turning on and off the hybrid system. Once it's on, it's basically automated. So if you're sailing and you turn it on, it'll recognize that the boat's moving, your propeller's not folded, so the shaft's spinning, and it goes, well, I can regenerate now. So it turns into hydro regeneration mode and starts supplying power to the boat. When we were delivering 4401 to the port, we were diesel engine motoring on one side, we had the boat in hydro regeneration on the other shaft, and we were getting, I think, 250 watts at 6 knots.
Really?
So we were just starting to get power, and that was just, 6 knots of speed.
And the idea is under sail, the faster we go, the more wattage we'll bring into the batteries, right?
Exactly, it's almost exponential, velocity squared, basically, the amount of power that you can take off.
Do you have like a dream number? If we were gonna do 10 knots, say, as a roundish number, do you have a dream of how much power we could put into the battery bank? If we're regen on both.
I think you should be able to fully recharge the entire battery bank in a day's sailing if you're going flat tack, with the regen going. Which is a lot of power.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a lot of power.
This is the first time I've gotten to see the system programmed, coming together, see this whole dash. It's absolutely beautiful with the wheel, the carbon fiber wheel, the carbon fiber dash, the ZF Marine controls.
And the throttle is the same throttle for both controlling the diesel engine and the electric motors.
Was that a challenge?
It did take a little bit of setting up because boats are catamaran, you're already using both levers. So on other boats, sometimes with a hybrid, they would have a diesel engine lever and an electric lever, but we wanted one lever to do everything.
Yeah.
So the way it actually works is there's a physical position sensor on the diesel engine's throttle. And so when you actuate the throttle, you are moving the throttle on the diesel engine, but it's off. But it's measuring that position, then translating that into a percentage of maximum throttle to control the electric motor. So it's actually really simple.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, we found when we were using this system to go from like electric mode to diesel mode to regeneration mode, it's all like very, very seamless. There's no like chopping and pushing buttons and waiting for things to turn on. It was pretty slick.
So whether you're in hybrid or regen or actually diesel, full diesel, or just straight up electric, it feels the same.
It's different because it's silent. If you're in electric mode, you can hear it.
Oh, I can't wait to get behind the wheel and actually get out there. So that's the quick dive into the Eco Drive. If you want to know anything else about this boat, drop me a comment down below. Let us know what you want us to cover. We're here for just a tiny bit longer. And then of course, we'll take delivery of our own HH44, start sailing, and we'll really dive into all the systems then. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Sunday.